Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends, get your gaming goodness every Saturday at 6 a.m. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, what's up, Dylan?
That's all? Okay, fuck you too. And Sheree Schreiner.
Hello.
There you go. Sheree has a thing. Ash gives me nothing.
Yeah, I stick with mine and it's just works every time.
Yeah, I've got a thing
10.
with Ash. I've got a thing with Ash at the moment because he let me down the other week.
Yeah, it's a long day, Dylan.
He let me down the other week and now he's yet to make up for it.
Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just phone it in and then one time I'll hit you with a brilliant zinger.
I expect brilliant zingers every week, and that's the quality of it.
It's too much to ask. Who do you think I am?
Not. The quality zinger person that could manage to do it for 32 episodes prior and then suddenly gave up.
I don't know if I did.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you gave up, and you ruined everything. This week on the show, we're going to be running down some games that are still yet to come out in 2019. I'm going to talk about Vader VR, which I've played on the Oculus Quest. The Witcher series has released its first photos, and we'll talk about those. And I made a joke here about Stranger Things, but then I completely blanked out, but we'll move on. First, let's talk about The Division 2. I'll quickly talk about this because we don't really need to discuss it. It's just worth noting because we had talked about this prior, so I need to at least cover the information now that I've got more information to feel like I'm doing my due diligence on keeping up with what's happening because I've talked about it. So Kotaku wrote this article called Division 2 is testing some much requested features. I don't really care about half of what the fuck they're talking about in this article, to completely honest. It doesn't matter to me. They're talking about gun, nerfs, tests, all sorts of things, public test server build. Didn't even know that's a thing. Didn't even know they had a public test server build. But they're talking about, it says here, on Wednesday and Thursday, Ubisoft is letting them try the game's notoriously difficult 8-player raid on a new Discovery difficulty setting that will allow for matchmaking. Now, Ash, you remember the big kerfuffle I had with this last time?
Yeah,
because they lied to us.
Matchmake raids. It's crazy.
They lied. Before the game released, they said it would have matchmaking. Game releases, doesn't have matchmaking. They fucking lied to me, and I was going to sue them. I was going to take them to court. I was going to fly over to America or wherever the base, and I was going to sue them because that's how you do it in the States. I hear. This is one of the bigger deals in the update. It says, when the Division 2's raid launched in May, many players complained, myself included, that the new multiplayer mission wouldn't allow for matchmaking despite a promise in a marketing materials that every activity in the game would have it. Instead, players had to manually sync up with 7 other players, who has 7 real friends, which Ubisoft developers said that they felt was important to assembling groups that would work through the raid as an effective team, similar to games like Destiny 2, which have taken similar approaches. The developer later said that they would work on a compromise offering. It's unclear if this is the entirety of it. Matchmaking support for an easier version of the raid will allow more players to see its content, but said Discovery's version of the raid won't pay out the game's top tier rewards. So my 2 cents on this is stop testing it, put it out, get it done. Sick of hearing about it, make it a thing, because I still own the fucking game, and I will go back and play the fucking raid, and I don't care about these top tier rewards. What am I trying to play the game for? What am I, some nerd? I don't care about the top tier rewards. Just let me play the damn thing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's your Division 2 update. Look forward to me complaining about the matchmaking being terrible as soon as they enable this. I'm all happy now, and then they'll enable it, and then I'll be back here, and I'll be like, yeah, here's a story from Kotaku. Yeah, here's a story from Kotaku article called Division's raid goes free to access, but runs terribly. let's talk about that. Another interesting little tidbit I quickly would chuck in here, because I only read it just before we went live, but should be noted here as well as catching up on stories we talked about previously. Was it only last week we talked about the Donald Trump thing, Ash? Was that week before? I can't remember now.
The tariffs?
Yeah, was that last week?
Yeah, that was
last week, I think.
Last week. All right, so just before we went live, I was reading a story. Don't have it in front of me anymore, but the main point is apparently now Trump has stopped the tariffs for toys, board games, video games and stuff. Apparently, it's not Trump directly, but department, whatever. Either way, the tariffs are now being put on hold. There's your update to that story.
Yep.
That's all.
Not surprising. Real gamers are scary.
Real gamers are scary, Ash.
Real games.
Real
It was
gamers.
all the real
are scary.
gamers and the fake gamers that got together and said, Donald Trump, you don't know what to talk about. And he got real scared.
That's a movie waiting to happen. So another little bit of interesting news that came out this week that I think is exciting if you're basically, anything of the Xbox, but I think primarily this is exciting news if you're solely a PlayStation owner. So IGN says, Alan Wake publishing rights acquired by developer Remedy. Remedy Entertainment has acquired the publishing rights to Alan Wake, the supernatural horror it originally developed exclusively for Microsoft's Xbox 360, as detailed in a report from Global Newswire, a fucking place I'd never heard of before this. But anyway, Remedy has just received a one-time payment of 2.5 million euros, which is about 500 billion Australian dollars, for royalties on previously released games. In relation to this, the publishing rights of Alan Wake games are reverted to Remedy, the announcement said. Interestingly, earlier this year, Remedy explained that it actually owns the right to the Alan Wake IP, but that, quote, it's never quite as simple as that with this development. It would appear that while Remedy owned the IP, the publishing rights lay solely with Microsoft. And now that they've got them all back, it means that Remedy could make a sequel and publish it on all the platforms and do all the things, or the other thing that could happen, which would make more sense and would probably please more people, is that they publish Alan Wake onto more platforms, which would be exciting. Because I never finished it. Reading this news story made me want to go back and finish it. Is there anywhere... Ash, Shree,
No, I've not played this game.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
was about to say.
Yeah,
So,
our excitement levels are high.
Alan Wake is a cool game, and I should actually go... The reason I never finished it, so I started on PC, and...
Nerd.
Yeah, I started on PC, and I got like halfway through, and then my old computer, which for its whole troubled life gave me nothing but issues, it blue screened and wiped, and I had to do a reformat, and I lost my save.
Oh,
And
that blue screen of death. It'll
Rip.
get you every time.
Yeah, and then, you know that thing where, because I was 6 hours in, and I could not be fucked. As much as I was enjoying playing it, I really could not be bothered doing that whole 6 hours again to catch up to where I was up to, which really pissed me off at the time. And I was quite annoyed. But Alan Wake is a cool game. It's basically it's like a Stephen King game, I guess. Like, you play a writer that goes to this small village, and then he starts seeing weird shit, and you have to flash the flashlight in at the enemies to be able to see him and all sorts of things. And I remember when it came out, everyone loved it. It was a big hit and stuff, so quite old. Hopefully it gets ported over. I always think these rights stories are interesting because you always just assume that certain people have the rights for stuff, but it just depends on who makes the thing. Someone in the comments here kind of points out, this could actually happen. Someone wrote in the IGN comments, Remedy walks out on Sony stage at E3 2020. Alan Wake 2 only on PS5, which sounds like a joke, but at the same time, 100% could happen, especially since Remedy announced Control, the upcoming game, which is out this month. Was it next month? I can't actually fucking remember. Next month, August. Out next month, which I'm excited for. But they announced Control during Sony's weird E3 last year, so weirder things could happen. But that's cool. I might restart Alan Wake on my PC if I get the time. Maybe. I kind of feel like I might.
Possibly.
Sometime soon. This is the thing. I keep saying these things every time I record. I'm like, I want to start this thing.
You're playing a lot of games. How much time have you got?
What do you mean? How much time do I got?
Silence.
I don't play that many games. That's the thing. I mostly play stuff that I feel obligated to play, or I'm playing for a review. I don't often play stuff that isn't. That is just for shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I was having fun streaming the other night, right? We streamed Crash. I'm like, maybe I'll start doing more sporadic streams. And the sole purpose of them is not if anyone even cares to watch, but just solely to force myself to play this shit I keep talking about. Like, even like Gears of War and shit that I keep being like, I'll catch up on these games, which I probably never will, but I want to.
We should start making a list of all the games.
Yeah, it's the entire Gears series, the entire Halo series. Add Alan Wake to it now.
So
There's a whole bunch
basically
of
you're
it.
saying is you'll never sleep again ever in your life.
That would be a positive if I could.
Congrats. I hope it works out for you.
If sleep was a choice, I would choose not to sleep. Just saying. And you may be like, and people, I always say this, and then people are like, yeah, neither would anyone else, Dylan. And I say people would still choose to sleep if, just for shits. If
Not
sleep
for
was
the
a
giggles,
choice,
just the shits.
if sleep was a choice, and it was just something that you could choose to do to help you feel somewhat refreshed. Like let's say you live in a world where if you sleep, you'll wake up feeling refreshed still. But if you don't sleep, it's not like your body will shut down, but you will you'll just feel tired.
You'll get
like
a point of
necessary.
exhaustion.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's not going to like kill you or anything like that. Like you don't actually need sleep from a health perspective, but it's probably good for you to sleep to help feel refreshed. I think if this was the way our bodies
Like
run, I would.
you're a robot, and at a certain point, you just run on low
I guess so.
battery.
That's
I
me
feel
right
like,
now.
I feel like if that was a choice, I'd probably only sleep like once a week, maybe to like refresh. You know?
Also me right now.
But if you had a choice, what would you do?
Sleep. I'd sleep a
sleep.
lot. I have that choice right now. And it'd be if I
Stop
had the
comparing
if
it
I
to
had
now.
the choice.
We're
I'd
in a
sleep
fictional
right now.
scenario. You're ruining my.
Why are you even on
No,
this
I would
podcast?
still
Just
sleep.
go to sleep.
You would sleep, Ash?
No, I would
would
not
s-
sleep. I'm happy to
You would
keep
sleep?
going.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine all the shit you get.
Imagine all the stuff
done.
I can do with those 4 hours.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. All right, moving on. So I was like, how did we even get here? Alan Wake, something about backlog, something about anything. Anyway, the Witcher series that isn't based on the games, but I still think is worth talking about because basically everyone's going to be looking at it. Most of the people I see excited about this online are like a lot of games website are covering it, a lot of games media people talking about it, and so on and so forth. It may not be based on the games, but everyone's still going to be looking at it through this is a video game adaptation lens, even if they don't want that to happen. That's what's going to happen. Full stop. They have no choice about it. That's the way people are going to be looking at this TV series. I'm sorry. It's just what's going to happen. It's based on the novels either way, which the games were also based on. So they put up the first few pictures of a day, which I would presume means that we'll probably get a trailer, I don't know, as soon as a week from now, but as much as like a month from now for all we know, but either way, a trailer I reckon is coming up somewhat soon. So you get the picture of Geralt and Ciri and Yennefer. Where are the actors' names? Played by
Henry
Yennefer's
Cavill.
played by Anya Chaltra, and Freya Allen plays Ciri, and then of course Henry Cavill plays Geralt of Rivia himself. So, Ash, what do you think of what we're seeing here?
They're really good stills. They
So you're
really
in the
did a
middle.
good job with the lighting. His wig does not look as terrible as it did in that makeup test. His eyes don't look as red as they did in that makeup test. Top-notch lighting work. Good work, Gaffer.
Good work, Gaffer.
Yeah.
Do you have much faith then? Or are you just like, eh?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be. I think it will be good, but I'm not going to say anything until we see a trailer.
Okay.
It looks like they're wearing the right costumes.
Good job. Good job, costume design people.
Yeah.
Sherry?
Look, I think this was, I agree. It definitely a step up from that terrible, terrible wig situation we had going on. I think, the costumes look really good. I am a little bit more sold than what I was before. I'm still disappointed by Ciri. I think if you remember our initial conversation, my complaint was she looked really young. And in these images, I still think that she doesn't look as strong and like tomboyish as what she probably needs to. She looks a bit too innocent for my liking in these images. So
my thing with that is I'm pretty sure they aged her up for the games. And also, we don't actually know much about the series and when this takes place. So the series that we're looking at here could be, now slight spoilers for the Witcher universe, I suppose. The series that we're looking at here could potentially be pre her being like put in charge of like the Witcher group. Like this could still be her as the daughter of the king situation, is what I'm thinking. So this is before she gets the tomboy stuff that you're talking about, and
I
grows
suppose,
up with the Witcher's training.
You know, like when you asked for my opinion, you asked for my impression. I wasn't talking about storyline. I'm basing it straight off the images. But otherwise, I think the other two are a lot more convincing than what I had initially thought they were going to be. Yeah, that's my take. Again, I'm same as Ash. I'm not really saying going off these images it's going to be good, it's going to be bad or whatever, but it was definitely a lot more convincing than what we first initially saw.
Nothing here blows my socks off.
No.
But I don't feel like that's a terribly bad thing.
You don't need that though from some images.
You don't need socks.
No. we fucking know that, Ash.
Just don't wear socks when you watch the trailer and we'll be fine.
I think the costumes look good. I think Henry Cavill actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, he did surprise me a bit.
I like how like he's got a little bit of gruff going on, you know, his dirt on face, whatever. They've done what they could to try and dirty him up,
roughing him up a little bit.
Roughing him up a little bit. I like Yennefer's like her costume looks like Yennefer to me. So I like that. I like her costume. The series is the least interesting solely because it's just a cloak. Where it's just like she's got a hood on. Cool. What's going on there? It doesn't tell much of a story. At least like Geralt looks like Geralt. He has a fucking sword and his medallion and whatever else. Yennefer has a sword or big ass dagger or whatever the hell she's got going on there. And then Ciri's just like, I'm going for a walk in the woods. Hey.
Especially with that laugh at the end. That's exactly what she's going to be like.
That's what I reckon she sounds like. So I will say another funny thing with this whole when the pictures got released, I found quite funny is because every comment thread I'd look in, you'd have these like dude bros being like, Brody, why doesn't he have two swords? And then people were responding and being like, in the books, he doesn't actually carry around two swords on his back because carrying around two giant swords on your back would be fucking dumb. And the only reason that he carries around two swords on his back is for like video game reasons, so you don't have to like constantly return to Roach to switch your swords when you want to. And then people were like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, yeah, okay, get back in your hole. Get back in your hole. Get back in your hole and shut up.
Hey, be fair, these are the people who made the game a big deal. You know? Just because they didn't read the books doesn't make them any less of a Witcher fan. No. But at the same time, don't come out of your woodworks with your, but it's not right, when it's like, they've said from day dot, this is based on the books. It's not an adaptation of the video game.
It's hard though, because obviously it's based on the books, but they're going to have to make some sort of, I don't know, they're going to have to be making both sides happy, I feel, because there's very many people, like I would love to know the percentage of people that have played the games that have read the books and that haven't read the books.
Less than 30. Less than 20 probably.
So I just feel like if they want this to actually be a success, they're going to have to, it can be based off the books, but they're going to have to be adaptive to the video game style as well. Because otherwise they're just going to get people crapping on it for the sake of gamers are shit, and they're just going to crap on it because they don't know any different to the game.
I don't think any of that's going to happen for several reasons, but my main one being that I very much assumed that for this series to get made that the author had to sign off on it again. And he hates the video games.
Yeah, But look, okay, this is one of those things we disagree on, and quite often I come out on top in these arguments. So we'll see. We'll see about the Siri thing. We'll see about this.
Anyway, we'll find out soon enough. Doesn't have a release date, but it is this year. So I mean, we're in July. So do your maths on that one. There's a next story, last story for this week, news story. Interesting one about Deb's calling out G2A. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what I keep doing that too.
Hopefully I don't have to say that many times in a news story completely about it. So Games Industry Biz Reddit thing, it says G2A is once again under fire as developers are encouraging gamers to download their titles legally rather than buy them from divisive marketplace. The outcry began with a tweet from Mike Rose, founder of the indie publisher No More Robots, who observed that G2A has paid for sponsored ads on Google. Anyone searching for games such as Descenders, published by Rose's firm, will see that G2A links first. After I read this story, I randomly typed into Google something today. Actually, it was the Sniper series. I was googling the Sniper, like the Sniper series of video games, and when I typed that into Google, the first link that appeared was a G2A one. So I was like, well, yeah, it's a thing. Rose tweeted, "We're making zero money off our games if people buy through these ads." He tweeted, "Please, if you're going to buy a game from G2A, just pirate it instead. Genuinely. Devs don't see a penny either way, so we'd much rather G2A didn't see the money either." Ross later claimed that G2A, Jesus Christ, arranged for several of their sponsored streamers to read out statements explaining why they're not evil, following the traction his tweet gained, which I think is kind of fucked up. Like the G2A sponsors a lot of Twitch streamers. Like they'll be sponsored to them, and I suppose they get codes and whatever else. I don't know how it works. All I know is they do sponsor a lot of Twitch streamers. I find it kind of disgusting from the outset that if just because someone publicly said something bad at your thing, your response is like, we'll pay a bunch of Twitch streamers to say nice things about us. So, and I think that's bad for also the Twitch scene to like kind of be part of that, like puts a bad stain on them. But anyway, Descenders developer Rage Squid also backed up Ross on Twitter, encouraging players to torrent the game instead of just buying it from G2A. As did Vladimir's Rami Ismail said the same thing. Ismail's tweeted, quote, "If you can't afford or don't want to buy our games full price, please pirate them rather than buying from a key reseller. These sites cost us much potential dev time in customer service, investigating fake key requests, figuring out credit card chargebacks, and more. G2A has developed a reputation over the years for enabling grey market key reselling, whereby users buy game keys in bulk from cheaper territories and sell them for profit in more expensive markets, with no share of each sale going to the original developer." I mean, have you read much about or know much about G2A's history?
No,
I haven't either.
Because honestly, I kind of brought it up in case she's hoping and kind of expecting that this might be one of your first encounters reading about a bit. But I've known about them shady for years. I remember years and years and years ago, for example, I had this whole kerfuffle. And I say kerfuffle, it was more of like me just arguing with a couple of friends at the time who, when Call of Duty Black Ops 2, it was like 6 months after that game was out, I had some people that were playing that and they wanted me to get it to play it with them. And I said, I can't afford to buy Call of Duty on my PC. I'm not buying it. And they kept sending me links to GTA saying it's really cheap here. It's only like $30 or whatever. And on this time on Steam, it was like, $70, $80 or something. It was basically double, if not more, the price. And I refused to buy the key through there. And I kept trying to explain that, but because of my own standards, I was unwilling because of all the stuff I'd read about them and knowing how dodgy they are and how it fucks over devs for several reasons. And basically, there was a lot of what would be criminals basically doing criminal activity by like kind of stealing people's credit cards, buying lots of keys and then selling them through there. And this is where this whole credit card chargeback thing comes from. So it was like this whole situation at the time where I was like, I'm not buying it. I can't. And they kept being like, why? I'm not friends with her anymore.
and they were saying things like, don't be a pussy, all this sort of shit, which is probably why I'm not friends with them anymore. But so I've known about it for a while. But the reason that it doesn't matter how many times, and obviously that was quite a long time ago. That was years and years and years ago, obviously. And it's like nothing ever happens about them because they get away with it because it's not actually them doing it, is the thing. Like it's just people using their marketplace. But it's the same sort of problem I have with Steam never cutting down on shit that happens on their platform. It'd be the same as if eBay was rampant with people selling like stolen goods, which I'm sure people do sell, like try to, or like sell stolen shit on there all the time. But I've never read a story about like how eBay refuses to crack down on people selling stolen goods on there or something like that. Like I had a secondhand store I used to go to a lot when I was younger, like to buy PS1 games and PS2 games even. And they were super like, they would check whatever you brought in. Like if you brought in a video game and stuff, they'd be really like checking you to make sure you weren't dodgy because they didn't want stolen goods in there. Because if the cops came in, like if they paid you $100 for like a radio or a fucking like a bunch of CDs or something, and if the cops come in like a day later and say, oh, that stuff's stolen, the cops take it and they've just lost money. So they don't want stolen shit, So, but G2A gets away with it because of their weird marketplace system and whatever else. But the reason they're shitty is
name.
Yeah, it's also their name. But the reason they're shitty is because they refuse to just do anything about it. They don't care because they make money. They make money off all the ads and they get a percentage of the profit and all these sorts of things. So, Ash, do you have any thoughts on this particular story? What these developers are saying about? Like just pirate the game? Do you think that's a funny, interesting take?
If that's what they want, who am I to disagree? I think they'd prefer you to give them money in a way that they can receive it, but...
Yeah, 100% they'd rather you give you money, but I think what they're saying is like,
I think
if you're not going to buy it anywhere...
I'd prefer you to pirate this game illegally than give your money to this person.
Yeah, I think that kind of like says something, like how...
Yeah, how much they dislike that. Yeah.
So I got an Oculus Quest this past 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. If you want to hear me talk about like... What? Yeah, it fucking does it again. If you want to hear me talk about that... a little bit more like comparing it to PSVR, which of course is the only other VR headset I had until this. Listen to this past week's episode of Platinum Explosion, where I talk about like some of the pluses and things and what I think the PSVR 2 and what Sony should kind of learn from this, I guess. But one of the games, the only game I've played on it really, other than like Beat Saber and Beat Lab or whatever the fuck it's called, like games I've already played before. The only new game I've played on it so far is Vader Immortal Episode 1. So I'll talk about that because it's very cool. It's very exciting. I quite enjoyed it. In case you don't know, Vader Immortal means like Vader from Star Wars. We're talking about a Star Wars VR game here. We're talking about really cool Star Wars VR game. It's written by David Goyer, who writes a lot of television and movies and comic book stuff, of course. And I think someone else is involved in writing too, but it takes you about 45 minutes to play through. I would say it's like a somewhat equivalent to like if it wasn't a VR game, it would be like a Telltale level-ish game. Like there's not much, it's a lot of just walking through places and like interacting with stuff. There's not much like action that you partake in until the final moments of it. Other than that, it's very heavily a story-based experience and stuff, but it's very fun. It starts, you're like escaping from some planet on a ship. You've got your droid who's voiced by, I just mentioned, but who did I say it was voiced by the other day, Ash? The what's the fuck for that comedian actress? I'll have to look it up later. I can't remember now. It's voiced by a comedian actress.
Maya Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph, thank you. Voiced by Maya Rudolph. So you're getting away on this thing. As soon as the game starts, you have to like flip up a whole bunch of buttons on your ship, which is really cool. And then you go into hyperspace, which is fucking awesome in VR because you get to, look out the front of your ship and you see the whole hyperspace like stuff happening. And then you get pulled out of hyperspace by unknown means, and you're like, what the hell's going on over here? And if you look up above your head, you see like this huge destroyer like flying over, and that looks really cool in VR, obviously. And then you realize that you're over Mustafar. And if you know anything about Star Wars, you know Mustafar is not a place you really want to be, because that's where Anakin lost his legs, I guess, and nearly burnt to death. And it's like, your little robot friend's like, why are we here? What the hell's going on here? Why is there Empire dragons down here? And you go in there and you get like put into a jail cell basically by a bunch of Empire people. And then one of the coolest things I think I've ever experienced in VR, I would put this up here. This game isn't one of the best VR games. I've played other things that have like mechanically more interesting things and whatever else. But I'll put, this game has one of my favorite VR moments that I've had in quite some time, which is down the end of the corridor as I'm a prisoner, my arms are chained up and whatever. The doors open and you just see smoke and you see the figure of Darth Vader, and then he just stomps his way down this hallway, walks right up to you, and you're in VR for the first time. I'm just like looking up, down. I'm like, oh, Darth Vader is very tall and he's quite scary when he's
quite scary.
He's quite scary. And I'm like,
wasn't scary before.
No, I'm like, I know he's supposed to be scary, but when you're staring him right in the face and he's like, and it's not James Earl Jones, but someone's doing a very good Darth Vader impression. It's quite scary. I didn't like it at all.
That's what he sounds like now.
That's as best as a Darth Vader impression.
Really good impression.
As I can go. I'm sorry.
0 out of 10.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, everyone. I can't do it. I can't do it, James Earl Jones. Simba, you are my
God.
Stop.
So basically the story though is that Vader's taken you because he's trying to look for the descendants of a certain family line, because he needs a certain descendant to open this holocron, basically. Which, spoilers, you do. And I'm going to like stop story stuff at a point here, because I feel like it's kind of set up. Because then after that point, he's like, you're the one I need. And he kind of pisses off. But then, of course, you manage to escape. And then the rest of the, with the help of someone, and you help get your robot out. And then it's you and your robot for the rest of the episode trying to escape through Mustafar's underground elements that the Empire has all set up and stuff. There is one scene, though, that they play in this where you get to see you're spying on Vader, and Vader's scene is very like from someone who's deeply interested obviously in like Star Wars lore and stuff. This one scene is what are we doing here? Like this is something I didn't know we would go this far with something with Vader in a game that's sort of niche, I guess, because it's a VR game. It's not like a PS4 game or something like that. You know, it's not going to be played by mass amounts of people, but they're definitely doing something really interesting here. And there's even a character that shows up that if you go look up on Reddit or anything, and then of course everyone's throwing it around like that's Snoke. So everyone's obsessed to reckon that's Snoke's now in this thing, which I'm going to say it's not Snoke. Just stop. It's not Snoke. It's a cool character. I want to know who the fuck it is, because it's like, okay, who are they? But it's quite interesting.
It's the Emperor.
It's not the Emperor. It's not the Emperor. It's someone else, but it's interesting things going on. Eventually you do get a lightsaber, and that is really cool. The lightsaber controls really fucking well. You can, I don't like want to spoil all the things you fight, but like hitting things with it feels good. And then also there is a segment where you basically have to stormtroopers are after you, and you have to like hit bullets, hit their laser beams like back as you're kind of moving and stuff like that, and that's really cool as well, because you're kind of like pew, 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 you're like fucking hitting them all back, and that feels really cool and really awesome. Visually it looks cool. The number one thing though, like playing this in my Quest, that I noticed compared to if this had been on PSVR is that, and I was saying this to Ash when I brought it up on Platinum Explosion, but I'll bring it up here as well because it's like super relevant, I think, to the Quest experience compared to other VR stuff, is that I got completely fucking lost in my room for the first time ever in VR. And the reason that this doesn't happen in PSVR is because there's a camera on top of my TV, and I have to be and that's kind of like center point. So I'm always kind of trying to look at the camera, because although you can turn around with your PSVR headset on, it does have like a light on the back that the camera can track, and it does that for some games. They'll make you like quickly turn around and see something, but you're not supposed to turn around fully and play a game. You can quickly turn around to see what's behind you, and that's it. But the Quest lets you just turn around your body full 360, and you could walk if you wanted, but then at the same time I'm walking using like the 2 analog sticks on the controllers. So I'm turning my character with the analog stick, but then I'm also turning my body somewhat like subconsciously in real life. And there were several times while playing this where I was like, I have no idea, and I'll turn around, I'll just be like completely facing random fucking directions in my room and like hitting things and like getting close to nearly walking into my TV, which is kind of scary. But I've never had this problem with my PSVR before, but it's just like the no wires, no hassle thing makes it really cool, really scary if you're doing what I was doing, which is because after I finished the story mode, I booted up. They've got like this challenge map type thing for lightsaber challenges where you have to like fight various different things with your lightsaber and whatever else. And I was doing a bunch of those, but that also meant I was creeping around my room. And at one stage, this fucking mic stand that I'm recording in now, I crept real close to it and I swung my hands out with a lightsaber and I just whacked my knuckles right into it, like the hardest thing ever. And I was like, ow, that hurt. And I don't think I smashed my controller, but hopefully everything's fine. And I'm definitely not in a big enough room to play this, but it's fine. And that's
your lightsaber was just supposed
Vader Immortal
to cut through it. Oh yeah, I can't do lightsaber noises. It's
if
fine.
it was real,
you do one. What's your lightsaber noise, Darth Vader?
No.
This is awful. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful. But that's Vader Immortal. I don't think Vader Immortal will come to PSVR either as other thing. I believe Oculus is like a partner in its development somewhat. So it's only probably going to be on Oculus platforms. Somewhat disappointing, of course. I wish it was on everything. That would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's also 15 Australian dollars for episode 1. There's no season pass, but there's supposed to be like 4 or 5 episodes for this thing. So, and I definitely feel like 15 minutes for the 45-minute story mode was well worth it. But then you've got all the challenge stuff as well on top of that. And then the other thing I wanted to briefly talk about to follow up from last week when me and Ash's main topic was, of course, deep diving onto what the fuck auto battlers were. After last week, we've both now officially tried the third one, which we hadn't at the time, which is Teamfight Tactics, which is Riot Games / League of Legends version of the auto battler. This is the one I've played the most now. I think I like it more than the other ones because it is faster paced. The rounds take between 20 to 30 minutes, which is way shorter than Auto Chess or Dota Underlords. The characters I recognize also, which helps. Like I know most of the characters from back when I played League Heaps. The items I recognize too from back when I used to play League Heaps. But I also think just the time thing is really good. Like 20, 30 minutes feels so much better than a fucking hour for auto chess. That's like way too long, I feel, for sort of thing. And also, Teamfight Tactics is the only auto battler that I've actually won a round in, which I felt, won a whole game, I mean. Like I won a whole thing of, which I was quite happy with myself about when I finally won. I was like, I am pro, and esports people should basically get ready to hire me. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Ash, what do you think of Teamfight Tactics amongst the rest of them?
I enjoy it. I think it's got some interesting mechanics. Obviously, it's got the drafting mechanic that the other ones don't have, like every
this is true, actually.
5 rounds or something. Yeah. They have a bunch of champions walk around.
And that's how it starts. That's how the game starts.
That's how it starts. You just randomly, you all rush to collect whatever champion you want. And if you don't,
I think it matters too much.
If you don't, it just automatically gives you one. But then every 5 turns, it like does the draft. So from the bot, whoever's losing gets first pick of the champions that are sort of in a circle.
My number one tip for that would be to get an understanding of the items, and always 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to want to just focus on the items that coming of the champion you're picking from that pool, and that's the more important thing than actually like focusing on the champions.
I normally just get the most expensive one because even if I don't like them, I'll just sell them.
What's the best position? How many positions? What's your positioning going?
I think 3, top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
Yeah. Still currently prefer auto chess just purely from the fact that I can see the stats for each champion in the game. I can hold the person down. I can see their attack speed, what they did, what damage they dish out, what armor they've got, that sort of thing. It also comes up with a DPS, damage per second thing, so you know who's doing the most damage each round. So,
I definitely feel like I definitely feel like they need to.
It helps you keep on track of which ones to try and boost the most.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they do need to add a like a hover over stat thing for this, but at the same time, it is still. I don't know if we mentioned this last week, but Dota Underlords and Teamfight Tactics are both still in beta. Auto Chest is the only one that's actually like
out.
The other two are in beta, so there are some like features that might get added upon full release and stuff. But I'd say I'm really enjoying Teamfight Tactics. Like I would happily play Teamfight Tactics quite a lot. It's very passive to play. You know what I mean? Like you pay attention, sure, but at the same time, it's not so intense that it warrants like full on what you're doing. It's you can just kind of relaxing and play it. And I've even the past week turned on Twitch and just watched people's streams in the background sometimes as well, just playing Teamfight Tactics because it's quite passive to watch as well. You know, it's just like how you going? What are you doing? What team comps you're building and these sort of things. So there's a follow up on your auto battler, which in case you don't know everyone or you missed last week's episode, which you should really go back and listen to, or else everything we just said probably made no sense, but I couldn't be bothered explaining the whole genre. Auto battlers are the new genre of 2019.
The new hit genre of 2019.
The new hit genre. You need to fucking catch up on your gaming knowledge. What are you, a fake gamer? Figure your shit out. Like, Jesus, learn the game genres. You got battle royales and now you've got auto battlers.
Them other things.
Yep.
Okay, so for the main topic this week, because there really wasn't too much happening, to be honest, so I thought we might just do a rundown of the rest of the games coming out. And this was spurred because last night, as of recording, was playing Crash Team Racing on Twitch, streaming, and I hear Dash from dashgamer.com, who gave
that's the one.
Crash Team Racing a score of 6.5 out of 10, I hear. I hear him say a line about how there's not much coming out soon.
We're in a bit of a drought.
In a bit of a drought was his line. And it got my mind spurring. I'm like, are we there? Like, I was like, are we actually about to be in a bit of a drought? So
they just released Mario Maker a week ago.
Yeah, we're in a drought.
We're in a drought.
So after he said that, it got me thinking. So I Googled upcoming release dates. And then because I did that, it ended up as the main topic because I ended up just looking down the whole list and seeing what's coming up. So we're going to run through them and talk about anything that stands out to you. We'll just, do the usual thing. Fill you with some information. Maybe you don't know what's coming out the rest of the year. You're about to learn what's coming out for the rest of the year. So starting in July, of course, which is where we are now. On the 19th, and by the way, I don't have everything here. I've just put stuff that I think is important. One of us is interested in. I'm interested in. I know, like, there's one I specifically only put in here in September. I presume Ash is interested.
Maybe it's me. You don't know.
Maybe. I know 100% there's one thing I put for here that you're not going to be interested in. I'm not interested in. Only Ash, and I'll point it out when we get to it. So 19th of July, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. I want to get this.
Yep.
I'm going to stand by this. I'm highly intrigued in this. Ash, are you going to steal that? You going to steal that Switch for this?
I'm going to probably steal that Switch. I'm disappointed it's not out this week because my little brother's on holidays, so we could have just been sitting in front of the TV playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So, but
would have been good.
It would have been good, but
you're going to
it's
steal
coming
it
out in a few weeks.
We can play together.
We can.
It's got online where you don't have to be in the same room. It's
true.
It's a confounding concept.
Just need to get that Nintendo Online.
Oh, you don't have online? What?
No. You know what I should do is I should get Twitch Prime, which is part of my Amazon Prime subscription, and then it's currently got a free year of Nintendo Online.
It does.
You know? If you've got Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to a channel on Twitch. I don't know if you know this. Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Didn't you know? And also get Twitch Online. Yeah. It's worth pointing out because
I still think maybe a lot of people don't know, but if you have Twitch Online, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Online, twitch.tv/Explosion Network. Give us your thing if you're not using it. And B, if you go over to Twitch as well while you're there doing that, and you look at the what do I get for free thing, you'll find a link to a Nintendo thing, and you can redeem. I think it's 90 days. What's so funny?
You said Twitch Online. Are you talking about Nintendo?
Yeah, Nintendo Online. You get Nintendo Online, and I think it's 90 days. It says you can redeem 90 days for free of Nintendo Online first. And then if you come back after that 90 days and you're still subscribed as a Amazon Prime member, you will get to then redeem the 9 months. So you get a total of 12 or whatever all up. There you go. There's your hot tips. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Cool. I'm excited. 26th of July, Fire Emblem Three Houses. One of Ash's E3 2019 games of the show.
Yes, very keen.
You're officially stealing the Switch for the whole of July, it seems.
I might even steal this game off my brother who will be buying it because he's a big Fire Emblem fan.
Oh, he's already getting it.
I'll just get him drunk, let him pass out, and then I can play it.
That's the best type of deal you've got going on there. You get him to even buy the game. Yeah. And you just take the whole thing. And you say, I bought you this Switch, bro.
Yeah. Bro?
Yeah, Ash is hardcore. He doesn't do things.
I don't call them by their names. I just call them bro.
Yeah. What up, bro? Homie. What's up? One of the big things, this whole concept of just borrowing the Switch and being able to start your own game, I find it funny and good because I mean it's not really a big concept because we all know you can make different profiles and stuff on your Switch. But back in the day, if I had a save profile, Pokemon is coming out, for instance, right?
Yes.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, which we'll get to. If back in the day I had this and we had a Switch and I had my Pokemon game saved on there and then my dad stole my Switch when I was 10 years old and he decided to play, he would have been able to make his own game. But what happened when I was a kid is that my Game Boy Color, he would play on my save file. I would wake up in the morning and he would have used my fucking Ultra Balls on Pokemon I didn't want them used on.
Oh no. Goodness. You'd have to buy more Ultra Balls. Terrible.
It's fucking bullshit. It was fucking bullshit. Just catching Pokemon I didn't want because you couldn't make ultimate save files. You couldn't make different save files. Anyway, so 26th of July, Wolfenstein Youngblood. I'm kind of keen for this at this stage. I'm keen for this because obviously I recently played Wolfenstein 2. So now I'm ready. I'm ready for the continuing adventures of... Well, actually, it's not. But in this game, you're playing as the two daughters of B.J. Blazkowicz. And you're on the hunt to find your daddy who's lost in enemy lines or something. I don't really care. If it's as weird as the second one got, and the second one got ridiculously weird, then I'm going to have a good time. And it's co-op, and I'm going to hopefully get one Buddy Watson to play with me, is my current plan. And now that I've said that on a podcast, he has to. He has to play with me. August 20th, Rad comes out. You may be like, what's Rad, Dylan? What are we talking about here? You got Ash over here shouting out what's up, homie, and all sorts of keywords. Are we just shouting out 70s keywords now? No, Rad is the Double Fine game that was announced during the Nintendo Direct a couple months ago, where it's like a top-down twin stick type thing, roguelike game. And that's what it is. It's made Double Fine. It's one of their weird games that's coming out. I'm pretty excited. It looks weird. It looks rad. Some would say it looks rad.
Some would say that.
Some would say that looks rad. August 22nd, Life is Strange Episode 4 comes out. I'm the only person here that cares about this, obviously. I
care. I'm just not up to date, you know? My care factor is ways away, but I still care.
Okay. Well, excuse me? Excuse the fuck me. Excuse the fuck me. Get out. In case you don't know, you should go check out Beyond the Strange, our Life is Strange 2 after show podcast, where we recently posted the episode about episode 3. Very timely, pretty much straight after release. It was fine. went up perfectly on time, but that's a thing that goes up and is now exists. I'm pretty pumped for episode 4. I love episode 1. Episode 2 I thought was good. Episode 3 I really liked. So I'm on, like, every episode's hit for me. I like the characters. I like the story. I like what they're doing. Episode 3, I really like what they did with like the romance options and these sorts of things that they had going in it. They're doing interesting things with these two boys, these two brothers, and like how they're building up this relationship, and also what they're doing with the young boy who's got the superhero powers, and like what that would do for his mental state, I guess, somewhat. Without going too heavily into spoilers, it's kind of hard not to be watching the story unfold and just think it's going to go like Chronicle or something like that, I guess, depending on if he turns into a supervillain or a hero, but I guess that's what we're going to find out. August 27th. This is a PC only release. The PS4 version of this and so on comes out later, but for whatever reason, PC release of Ancestors: The Human Odyssey comes out. So this is the game where you start as apes and go through time.
Apes. You become better apes.
It's the evolution game. It's the anti-Christian game. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that, but it's the it's the Big Bang game is what it is. It's a game that it's a game that got announced at the Game Awards.
The anti-creationism game.
Yeah, it's an anti-creationism game there. It got announced at the Game Awards. Well, I watched it. Was like, that's interesting. What a monkey game. It's coming out in August. I still don't think anyone understands what the fuck you do in this game.
I don't. Well, apparently there was. Oh no, they haven't released any gameplay since April.
Nope. And what even then, I recall watching that and being like, okay, so you're like fighting snakes and stuff, I think, or whatever else was going on, and like, but what am I actually doing? Like, what's
the goal?
What's the goal?
Is it fun?
I mean, they're going to say yes, but is it fun to be an ape? Is it fun to be an ape? Is it good fun? I don't know. I have no idea if the game's going to be good. I'm just highly intrigued by its concept, but it's yet to prove that it's a concept that's fun, I guess. We'll find out. August 27th, a game I'm pretty excited for. Control, the one I was just talking about before. Remedy's upcoming game Control. It comes out August 27th. Obviously, I brought this up as the main topic on Arcade Couch a couple months ago, whatever, when I thought not enough people were talking about it. Now I see a lot of people are talking about it because a lot of people got to play it at E3.
We talked about it. Thank you.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. Yeah. No, it was because a lot of people obviously got to play it at like E3 and these sorts of things. I'm seeing lots of positive preview coverage go up, and people are seeming pretty pleased with the way that game's going. And I'm going to chuck it out there. I hate to do these sorts of predictions because I'm like, what do you even base this information off? But honestly, with what I've read, what I've seen, and all this sorts of stuff, this will be either a Game of the Year nominee or at least like Game of the Year, like Best Action Adventure game type thing. You know, Game Awards. That's what I'm chucking out here.
There's big predictions coming early.
Yeah, that's how we do them here.
You heard it here first. Yeah,
zero
you heard
information.
It here first for the most likely to be incorrect prediction.
I'm most likely to be correct because I can only be incorrect so many times. Next game on the list, August 30th. Another game I'm pretty excited for, Astral Chain. Everything I watched about this from E3 got me more and more excited about it. I know it got announced like a year ago or whenever it was. I don't even, maybe it wasn't even a year ago. Maybe it was only like 9 months ago during a Nintendo Direct. But I remember when they first showed it, I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like third-person action game, anime aesthetic, you're fighting monsters. Not super intrigued. I don't know like how much this is going to be. The more I saw about the story and other aspects of it, and the part that really interested me, to the point that I felt it was worthy just like writing a news story about it coming out at E3, was like there's detective sort of stuff to do in the game. So you'll show up at like a crime and you'll have to actually investigate different things and talk to people for information, and then you track down the monster and fight them and do all this sort of stuff. But it's a Platinum Games game, so the combat I'm not worried about because that's what they do. That's what they're good at. It's the other elements in the game that I'm not worried about, but like concerned, yet to be proven. So, but I'm excited from it. I'm excited to play it. I think it looks cool. I'm 100% on board now. But also, it means that once we're past August 30th, it means I get to reset the clock on when I get Bayonetta 3 information. That's when it starts again. That's when I get to start waking up every morning wondering where Bayonetta 3 is. Astral Chain's out. Where is Bayonetta? It's why I brought a Wii U. I literally brought a Wii U for the fucking Bayonetta 2. Just give me the information. August 30th, Blair Witch is out.
Jeez.
I can't believe.
Ash is excited.
Ash is pumped, yeah. I still think it's quite crazy that game was a secret, announced at E3, and is out at the end of August. Like such a quick
turnaround, yeah.
Yeah. Quick reveal. And I know it's like not like the
it's
biggest
probably a smaller experience, but it's not Fallout.
Oh, yeah, but I like from all the screenshots and stuff that I've seen, or the couple that they released that were going around, it looks like a much higher quality game than what's that studio's name? Blubberworks, whatever it's called. It's something like that. It looks a lot higher quality than some of the other games like Layer of Fear and stuff like that. So, I'm intrigued. I want to play it. I like Blair Witch. Blair Witch is fun. Also on August 30th, if you're not down for some Blair Witch horror shenanigans, you got the Dark Pictures anthology Man of Medan. So Supermassive's game's first multi-platform release, being published by Activision. Instead of being a PlayStation exclusive, probably seen the trailers by now. Of course, you're adventuring into some boat or submarine or whatever the fuck it is. I can't even remember. And there's going to be ghosts and ghoulies around the way to haunt you. Ash, are you fucking pumped? Are you
pumped to watch somebody else play it?
Are you
say, why'd you make that choice?
I can just picturing Ash like watching. Idiot. Why did you make that choice to go left in the video game?
If you want to stream it, I'll be that person in the chat.
Don't you know that the ghost was going to be there?
It was obvious.
It was obvious, yeah. I want to play both those, but they're out on the same day. That's awkward. Well, Astral Chain's also out the same day. Control's out 3 days before. What the fuck do I do here?
Add it to the list.
What do I do? Jesus Christ. No, the list is for old games that I want to go back and play, like Halos and stuff. That doesn't count. You can't add new games to the list. That's a different list. September.
They become old at some point when you don't play them.
Yeah, but not like 2 days.
But they might.
Not like 2 weeks. No. September 3rd, Catherine Full Body. I'm probably not going to play this, but I put it on here because it's a big enough release, I suppose. Are you going to play this, Ash? You're the Atlas guy now. You're the Atlas guy.
No, I'm not going to play this. Probably not.
You're not going to play this. Why?
I've got no. Yeah, I'm not interested. Yeah.
For what reasons?
Just not interested. Maybe if it's on sale down the line, but I'm not going to pick it up day one.
For the gameplay or the story that makes you not?
I don't know much about it, but yeah.
Because I played it. I started it on PS3 when it originally released back in the day, and the story element stuff. So like when you're walking around this cafe, in case you don't know, Catherine, I presumed everyone kind of knew, but in case you don't know, Catherine is a game about, I can't remember the main character's name. It's a guy who has Catherine with a C and then Catherine with a K, and then he has to. The whole game's about him picking between his girlfriend or his.
Mum.
No, it's not his mum. That would be a big twist of events. The game, this is a re-release. It adds new stuff as well as a new Catherine character, which I can't really talk about without spoilers. But I looked it up, and a lot of people have issues with stuff. But yeah,
it's his mum.
It's not his mum. It's September 6th.
It's his brother.
That would be weird. September 6th on Game Pass. This I think it's like the 10th is the actual release date, but September 6th, Game Pass or Ultimate Edition buyers or what have you, Gears 5 comes out. So I've got until September 6th to catch up on the Gears franchise. Can I do it?
Maybe.
It's not impossible,
Not likely though.
but it's not likely either. Yeah, it's true. it's true on both accounts. September 13th, Borderlands 3. You getting Borderlands 3? Anyone getting Borderlands 3?
Yeah, I think so.
It depends what
No.
my life looks like then. How much time?
That's fair.
I'm up in the air. I honestly feel like every time I type, I honestly feel like every time I type Google Borderlands, or I open up Twitter, Randy Pitchford's fucking punch
Giving
your
you another
child,
reason not to play it.
Or yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's like Borderlands 3's promotional period is basically like, and here's Randy Pitchford fucking up again, and here's like another fucked up thing at Gearbox, and like here's another thing. And then like last week I had to read this story about someone wrote up a story about I don't know how you'd word it, like similar to a story that came out earlier in the year about Rage 2 and someone's problems with how these sorts of games use real life conditions, I guess, like that people can be born with, you know, like having their lip, like a big gap in their lip, or you know, these sorts of disfigurations, I guess, you know what I mean? Like people can have these real sorts of things, but they're like hyper pushed in like Rages or Borderlands as this like post-apocalyptic look at these mutants with their fucking like the way they look and all this sort of stuff. So I was reading another article about Borderlands 3 this week that was kind of like, yeah, I get what they're saying. I get your point. I understand what you're trying to say. Like, just a viewpoint that I don't take into account, I guess, when I was originally playing them, because I don't really think about them. But even people like the article even brought up like the games, like people in wheelchairs are bad guys and all this, you know, like disabled people basically is. But yeah, but there's always something bad in the media about fucking Borderlands. It's crazy. Also on the 13th comes out Daemon X Machina. Probably not a day one thing for me unless get a review code or something like that, but I'm intrigued by it. It's the mech shooter game on the Switch. I respect that they put out that demo a couple months ago and everyone kind of shat on it and was like, this runs shit. And then they literally came out at E3 and had fixed like 90% of the problems that people had with it. So I was like, well, fuck, you literally put out a demo, took feedback and did something with it. I'm like, can other people learn how to do this as well? Color me fucking surprised. What are we in September 17th, Destiny 2 Shadow Keeps out. I'll also bring up, I'll jump ahead a little bit here because I've got a TBC section here. Also later in the year, the Destiny New Light. So Destiny New Light comes out sometime in September as well, which is the free-to-play version. And that probably launch sometime around the same time that Shadowkeep comes out. Do you have any interest of diving into the free-to-play world of Destiny, Ash?
Not really, unless we decide to try it out together or something, or like a group of people decide to. But not by myself, yeah.
No, okay. Yeah, I probably won't either. It's like a time thing, I guess. It's like,
yeah, that too.
It's
It's like he's gotten like most of the way through the podcast by just saying like, I've got these so many games on my list, and now we've just reached the point. Oh no, probs don't have time. You backpedaled quite a bit quickly there.
Because I would like to play Destiny, but Destiny's an MMO basically. So it's like all the other games are story. It's like, I just want to finish the fucking things. They're like, how long does it take? 8 hours. All right, so I need 8 hours to finish this game. How long does this game take? 6 hours. Cool, I need 6 hours to beat this game. How long does Gears of War 2 take to beat? I can literally Google it and it'll say like 6 to 8 hours. I'm like, cool, 6 to 8 hours. How long does it take to beat Destiny 2? And people were like, well, the campaign takes like 15 hours. But if you want to max everything out and do all the raids and to get to light level 40, then you'll need to spend 40 million hours. You know, like it's not like a game you pick up and beat. It's no different than fucking The Division, really, I guess, but worse. September 20th.
I've got this one on pre-order, so I'm definitely getting it. So The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the re-release make, the cutie version, which is what they should have called it, the cutie version. It doesn't have like a subtitle name, but the cutie version is the correct name.
Link's Awakening, the cutie version.
The cutie version, yeah, that's what I would call it. Anyway, I've got that pre-ordered. It had the really cool collector's edition, steelbook case. It looks like a Game Boy. I'm gonna get that amiibo too, probably.
We're gonna make time for that.
You're gonna make time for this?
Yeah. Well, you got to make time for it, you know. But you definitely make time for the cuties.
Oh yeah, I'll. The best thing about this game is it's old. So if you ever get stuck, you can find a Game Facts guide from 1983 telling you how to fucking get past where you're stuck. Boom. Solved. Everything done. People speedrun this game in like half an hour. I'll do it in 2 hours.
Well, I'm not people. I just like to see the cuties and play them.
I'm going to go fishing in this game.
I want to go fishing.
Talking about somewhat cutie things. Also out on the 20th is Ni no Kuni Wrath of the Right Witch. This is the 4K remaster thing that will release for PS4 and it was Xbox as well, wasn't it? I can't actually remember now.
Probably.
But either way, I think so. And then also the Switch version releases on the same day, but the Switch version is just a port of the original PS3 version of the game.
Yep.
We talked about it before. Ash was like, I don't know if I'll pick it up. Don't know if I'll have time. I was like, I want to pick it up. I would like to go back and actually finish the game because I never finished the game before. But like we're discovering on this fucking episode of this podcast, I don't have the time. Time is an issue for basically everything. I can see a world because it's like so
if we can create that world where we don't need to sleep, then yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And also with lots of monies.
Or if you head to explosionnetwork.com/support us or whatever it is. Or
Kofi/explosion.
Kofi/explosion. Yeah.
Kofi.com/explosion.
If I don't have to have a day job, that solves a lot of my problems too. Okay, we either got the sleep thing or the day job thing. One of them has to go. One of them has to go.
What about if we sleep for money? Does that count?
We sleep for money?
Are there any sleep streamers out there?
Maybe I'll break into a new market. Yeah, I do feel like for Ni no Kuni though, because it's out on the same day as Zelda, so I'm definitely getting Zelda though. That's the thing. That's 100% lock. So Ni no Kuni, I could see myself getting like months down the line if I see it on a sale or something like that, because I do want to try and finish it. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. All right, so next one I put on here just for Ash. Out on the 27th, FIFA 20. Is that a day one purchase, Ash?
Not yet. I have the last 3 years, I feel like, gone day one. But that's because they had that journey mode, that's journey story mode that I got invested in. So far, the only thing they've added to this FIFA for this year is the FIFA Street mode, which doesn't really hold any interest for me. So until they release something else about what other modes and stuff they'll be adding, I might skip this year even. We'll see.
Oh my goodness.
Times are changing. The times will change. TBC.
Side note, I did trade in my FIFA 17 and 18.
Did you get $2 each?
$6 and $10. It was during that E3.
That equals
promotion.
$16, Ashley.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, for
$16, you could have nearly
games.
brought that copy of Anthem for $19.
Nearly. Yeah.
Nearly. You nearly could have brought trash for trash.
It's like 6 coffees.
Jesus Christ. Also put on here as a TBC for this month, September, the Doctor Who The Edge of Time VR game is supposed to come out, which obviously isn't really a hardcore thing that everyone's looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to it, and I want to play that. And I presume Ash would play this if it's a thing that exists.
If
it's coming to PSVR. It's coming to PSVR. Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Isn't it just a story thing?
Yeah, like you'll be
it's
there.
It's not an actual game. It's just an experience. So it might be, free.
No, well, I think it's actually a game. I think it's got puzzles and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, but, you know, Jodie Whittaker will be there. She'll be all like, yeah, I'm at the doctor. And I'll be like, yeah, you are.
Whatever things that she says. It's been a while.
Yeah, like catchphrase. Woo. So I'm excited. Out in October, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I would like to live in a world where I found this game at all interesting. The only world in which I'd play this is like heaps of people I know are playing it, so I'm like, I'll play it for multiplayer reasons. But like, just from a standpoint, I find the whole story just so fucking boring, and I think it even went further down in my books just by how badly they showed it at E3. They showed zero gameplay. They showed that John Berthnell trailer. They had John Berthnell come out with a dog, which was awesome.
Whoa!
Shout out to that dog.
Yeah.
Right? But other than that, I can't believe they showed fucking nothing about this game in the whole of E3. And also the whole story is just kind of like, you got some big fucking stereotypical fucking character that John Berthnell's playing, and they betrayed us and fucking used to work for special forces and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm on an island. Good story. Cool story, bro. Out on the 25th of October, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
That's my game.
That's your game of the year. Game of the year.
See.
I'm probably getting this. I'm probably getting this. I feel like if everything they're saying about like all the story stuff they're saying about how the story mode's like so intense and blah blah blah, you know, all this sort of shit that everyone's seen the stories floating around, I'm sure. Like everyone's like, oh, the story mode's like it's so super realistic, it's gonna fuck people up, man. I'm like, okay, you've caught my attention. I don't know, like just calm down. Just calm down. I'm highly intrigued. But my problem comes here. It's the next two games. Because it's like I want to play Call of Duty, and I can get Call of Duty on the same day as these next two and be like, okay, I've got Call of Duty for multiplayer reasons, and then I have to make decisions here of the next two games somewhat maybe. Well, actually, no, I don't. But Ash does. Because Ash is the biggest Medieval fan I know around these parts. And Medieval Remake comes out the 25th.
Really pumped to play as skeleton guy taking on evil wizard guy with my trusty axe.
It's just you can get an axe. You're right. You're right. Shout out to you, the big fan. You know what weapons you can get. I'm pretty pumped. If you listen to Platinum Explosion, I love Medieval. Medieval's great. Medieval, I beat 100 times over as a kid, so I'm super excited for this. But then again, at the same time, I was like, Crash Team Racing, fucking 100% that with my eyes closed as a kid. And I get this Crash Team Racing remake, and I'm like, how do I beat the game, let alone 100%? And it's too hard. So I'm like, am I going to boot up Medieval and be like, man, after everything I said about this game being pretty easy, I'm just going to fucking struggle my way through it. But I'm excited. So the third game though is the Outer Worlds. Now I presume this is what you're getting, Ash. You're pretty pumped from that.
The definitely. Outer Worlds. Can you check this out? Probably, yeah. Top 2 games for the end of the year. Yeah.
Top 2 games for the end of the year. Jesus. What's your number one? Oh, I'm intrigued now. Have we gone past her, or is it something else?
Blair Witch.
No,
we already covered it.
It's still coming. I'm going to presume it's the next thing on the list, but that I didn't think that would be on a one. Or maybe it's something else. I don't know. Like Outer Worlds. I thought I had a predicament here, but I don't actually, because I don't have to buy it because it's coming to Game Pass.
Maybe I just have to steal my brother's Xbox. I don't have to buy it. Just pay $5. No?
Maybe don't.
Just got to get onto this service that's not going to last forever.
It's going to last forever, and you're a horrible person. So I only have to buy Call of Duty Medieval, so that solves that. But I want all 3 of those games. That's exciting. November. The first game coming out November on the 8th is Death Stranding. Is this what your number 1 game is?
Nope.
Oh my god! Then it's, I suppose, the 2 down from this. That's interesting. I didn't know that would be your number 1, but sure.
I didn't say number 1. I said top 2.
Okay. Yeah. How are we feeling at Death Stranding? Because obviously, after we talked about the trailer when it released, you were like, "Yeah." Where are you at now?
Yep.
Still not really interested?
Not really. I think I'll just might watch some gameplay of somebody else. We still don't know barely anything.
It makes
What do you
perfect
do
sense.
in the game?
You get a baby, you put it in a jar.
You shake it all about.
You shake it
Make
all out.
jam.
You put that baby on your vest. You take that baby for a walk. I don't know what you do in this game. Who knows what you do in this game?
It's
The
actually
baby is the key
it's
to
actually
everything.
a Dream Daddy game. We just didn't know it.
Maybe.
The baby takes you into the other world.
I'm going to presume that Shri has zero interest in this game because she's like, if I wanted to deal with some baby in a jar, I could really do that
Yeah.
if I wanted to.
Yeah. I don't think that's really what I want.
No.
Really?
Maybe also isn't the key to entering some creepy alter universe.
Time travel
situation.
is
Yeah.
my theory, but yeah. So out on the 15th, it's Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Pokemon!
Shree's most anticipated game of the year.
It's you and me.
How are you going to... What's your plan?
My plan is to get the fucking game and play the shit out of it.
Can't argue with that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna catch some Pokemon. I'm gonna battle up some people. I'm gonna raid some motherfuckers. No, it's gonna be awesome.
Have you made a decision on which one you're getting yet?
I have not. I'm still very undecided of which one.
So
I don't know.
Did you want the one with the stupid dog holding a sword?
Here's a behind the scenes what happened. So
Yeah.
when Shree was here, was like talking about which one to get, and then was like talking about how there's the steelbook thing, and I didn't pre-order it because I'm like, I'm not, as much as I'd like the steelbook because I like steelbooks, I wasn't going to pre-order it just
For
pay that
both.
much to get both games. I don't need both games. And then was like, well, like if you get Shield and I get Sword, then we could buy the steelbook, and then I get the steelbook and I'll just send you the game. But then I guess you'd get it like a day late, and it was like, whatever. So anyway, I ended up pre-ordering that, even though Shri was like, don't
I'm
do
still
it.
undecided.
She was like, I'm
Yeah.
undecided, but I was like, well, I could just put a deposit on it so I have it, and then if you don't want it, then I guess we'll cancel it. But we've currently got a Steelbook edition pre-ordered in case you go for Shield, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like at first I was totally all Sword, but now I'm leaning towards a Shield. But
yes, because sword dog
If
is
you say
dumb.
anything about this fucking, how does he hold the sword? Also, I'd like to shout out. I was listening to House of Mario, their episode this week or something, and Drew on that podcast, House of Mario goes to House of Mario. They go plug. Did my job. Pay me $2. Thank you very much. When I was listening to that, Drew literally at some stage goes, I've heard these people complaining about how does the dog hold the sword? And as I heard, I'm like, he hasn't heard people. He's talking about Ash. There's no way he's not just talking about Ash here.
You know how you're going to win a fight against it? You just tire it out because it can't hold that sword in its mouth forever.
It can't. It's got an iron grip.
All those jaw muscles.
It's got an
gotta be painful.
iron grip.
Dylan and I made some pretty good predictions about the games actually, and about the legendaries. So we're gonna see in the near future whether they come true or not.
Oh, yeah,
But,
I forgot. What did we decide? I forgot. We decided it was
Steel. We're
What?
talking about Pokemon type.
Yeah, I forgot what we
Steel
decided.
and fire and ice.
Oh, yeah.
So sword is ice, shield is fire,
Yeah.
and
there's-
steel.
So there's steel, fire, steel, ice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's our prediction. But
our
you
predictions.
heard it here first. Don't steal the idea. Haha. Get it? Yeah, I'm super pumped for the game. I this is something I'll definitely like. It's easy. It's easy. You chuck it on the Switch. You sit around, play it. You can always make time for it. Put it down when you don't have time. Pick it up again. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Good job describing the Switch. You got it.
Welcome to my life. A bit of a snapshot. No, I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be super cute. I've seen some really funny Pokemon memes coming out of this game recently, and yes, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Next game on the list, out on the same day, is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So this is the next game on Ash's list. I have to assume, because I doubt it's anything else I've got here.
It was 100% Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I really didn't expect it to be Pokemon. I didn't realize this was as high. I mean, I knew you liked it, but I didn't realize you was as pumped.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you've got more pumped?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just after E3, just excited to play through that story, I think. No. And just playing as a new Jedi character, seeing that it's more interconnected than we thought with Saul Guerrero and what's his face playing him?
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. Good old Forrest Whitaker.
Good old what's his face.
Yeah. So yeah.
Did you watch the full half an hour gameplay thing?
Yeah. You got to go in and aid at that.
Yeah. You can say either way.
It's cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Official ruling.
More
that's very cool. That's you climb up that get
Still
inside
didn't
it.
see the Inquisitor character.
No, that's the stumbling over my words horribly here, but we've had a lot of recording to do today. I'm getting it either way, it's a Star Wars game. Of course I'm getting it. I would say my excitement's currently at yes, it's a game. I'll play it. It's not like I'm fucking pumped for this. And if I had to pick between what excites me potentially for Star Wars games for the rest of the year, I'd say my excitement would be more excited for Vader Immortal Episode 2 than this at the moment. But that's probably because I have more of an idea of where the story of Vader Immortal is going compared to the story of this.
Yep.
So, but that could switch, and that could potentially switch very easily the second I see some footage of the Inquisitor. Because as a big Star Wars Rebels
hovering
fan,
down.
Yeah. As a big Star Wars Rebels fan, I'm super pumped about seeing an Inquisitor in this because obviously, in case you didn't know, Inquisitors, which is the main bad guy in this, unless there's another bad guy, which there very well could be, but the Inquisitors are from Rebels. They have double-sided lightsabers that they can press a button on or whatever, and they start spinning around really fucking fast, and they use them to fly as helicopters. And it's ridiculous. And a lot of people hate that that's the thing, and it's in Star Wars Rebels, and a lot of people kind of complained about it when it was in the TV show. So I'm kind of looking forward to it happening in the game for the first time for a lot of people, and just really pissing people off. How they use lightsabers, helicopter planes? That's not realistic.
It's the Force.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm keen to say more for sure. So the other one I chucked on here, but I know none of us care, but I just thought it's worth mentioning because it's a new story to follow, I guess, upon release sort of thing, which is on the 19th of November, Shenmue 3 is supposed to release unless they delay it again. Which could potentially happen. I obviously I have no plans to play it, but I'm intrigued to see it release. And I'm intrigued to potentially read articles and maybe watch some videos by big fans from people from Easy Allies and stuff. I know has fans and whatever, but I'm just keen to see people's reaction to the game by people who have such a love for the franchise that I have no attachment to it all.
Yeah,
but I'm keen to see how they react.
I hope it's good for their sake.
Yeah, I hope it's good for them too, and I'm just keen to see how it works out because it's such a weird story. The whole Sony announcing it, but it was basically a kicking off point for this Kickstarter, and then more recently in the news you've had this whole once again Epic Games picked up the exclusivity to it, and that pissed off Steam people, and now Epic Games most recently has been saying that they're going to offer refunds to people who kickstarted the game because they've bought the exclusivity and that wasn't part of the Kickstarter. The whole news cycle's going
crazy
weird. Yeah, but if it releases,
so if you purchased one of these crazy collector's editions, I assume there's crazy collector's editions. Do you have to send all that? You don't get any of it if you refund it?
I don't know if there was any crazy collector's editions is the thing. I don't know. I mean, because if most of those are PS4, I suppose. I mean, it's only for the PC version.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Most people buying this game weren't buying it on PC. It's a console game. It was a Sega Genesis game or whatever back in the day, so there's no way to people buy this. The last game for November, though, is Doom Eternal, which I'm just going to go ahead and presume is only I care for. obviously,
Yes.
once again, I've covered my weird relationship with Dune this year. Super fucking pumped for Eternal. I honestly don't know if I'm just more excited about. Well, no, I can make a decision. I'm more excited about the Doom soundtrack than I are the game. I think. I honestly feel like that's what it comes down to. I'm like, yes, I'm excited to play the game, but also, I just want that soundtrack so bad. It's going to be so good. And then in December, the only thing we have listed at the moment, this will change presumably as we get closer, is that December 3rd, Life is Strange 2 comes to a close finally with the release of the final episode. So, which I hope sticks, and I hope they really don't have to push any of these release dates, because the way it's going at the moment, I would say Life is Strange 2 is in like my shortlist for probably like my top like 5 games a year when we reach that point. So I really don't want that last episode to be pushed out of the year or anything like that, because I would like to, if episode 4 and 5 are solid, it's probably going to end up on my top 10 at least or something. So, and then I've got a short list of some games that are 2019 but don't have any confirmed release dates yet. So the first one is No Man's Skies VR is coming out. I'm excited for that. You reckon you're going to jump into that, Ash, or what do you?
Maybe. I've still got the disc, so it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Still got the disc.
There's a story to that. There's
50-50 chance.
There's a whole story.
I've still got
two copies.
That's the thing, yeah.
That's the thing. Every time I ask Ash about anything No Man's Skies, I just remember this whole like, he has 2 copies. Because of reasons. Because he loves Sean Murray that much. He didn't say
He's
no.
like, no comment.
He didn't say no. Next game on this list is Concrete Genie. So that's the spray painty, whimsical one that was announced at PS Experience, like a year and a half ago, whenever it was, 2 years ago.
I feel like it was at Paris Games Week.
Actually, it might have been Paris Games Week then. Yeah, before they showed off gameplay during PSX, maybe, I think.
Yeah, no, well, they didn't have PSX last year, so.
No, the year before. It was like the only thing they showed after their in their sit-down talk thing.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we saw another thing. Maybe there was
Yeah, they did show something during PSX, State of Play. That's where they revealed it would be coming. They gave a winter or whatever, like a period for it to come. I'm excited for that. Every time I see it, I think it looks like I don't really know. Kind of looks like some sort of like Neil Gaiman. I don't know. Tim Burton, maybe. I don't know. Like it's definitely got some style to it that I quite enjoy. This Dark World or whatever. Reminds me of Coraline a little bit for whatever reason. So then also we've got the Wastelands DLC for Fallout 76 coming out at some stage later this year. No official date on that one yet, but it will come out, because if it doesn't, they will die. Not by me, but they will die. I reckon I'll probably try and jump back in for that. I presume, if not only so we can talk about it on here, I presume Ash will jump back in as well. Try that one out. It's free, so it's like,
yeah.
Got those NPCs showing back up. Then next one I chucked in here is probably the smallest indie game, but it's one I've been looking forward to. Well, hold on, there's one more small indie game here too. But A Fold Apart is supposed to be coming out this year. That's the like really cute like love romance game where you're playing as like, you got to do these puzzles where the 2 characters are like on 2 separate like notepad pages or something. It's like a fold. You got to join them together. You got to get them to get together by folding the paper somehow, doing puzzles. It looks really cute and stuff. So that looks really cool. Then you got Biomutant. I'm excited for Biomutant in a different way. I think I went into the year being like, Biomutant's like one of my most excited 2019 games. Now I'm like, I really want to play Biomutant. But at the same time, anytime I feel somewhat excited about a game that's being published by THQ Nordic, I go shivered. That goes down my spine. And that's how I now feel about Biomutant. Because
that's if it even comes out this year.
That's also true, yeah. THQ Nordic.
I swear I've seen a JB, a Biomutant little plaque that says TBC for like a couple of years.
Well, they did say a 2019 TBCs for this year, so. But I honestly, because they haven't talked much about it, I wouldn't be surprised if it got pushed if they didn't make this year at all. So, but I mean,
maybe. The Dark Crystal's Age of Resistance tactics game is going to be coming out some stage this year. I presume maybe like around the time
You would assume when the TV series
releases. Which, by the way, I know we're on Arcade Couch, not What Do You Want to Watch, but go listen to What Do You Want to Watch as well. But I just remember, did you see the fucking voice cast list for that?
It's stacked.
It is the most. Now, I know this is a big call to make, but let me just make this. It is the most impressive voice cast for a animated thing or / puppets, whatever you want to call it, ever. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'm looking.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Do you want to try and argue with that? Ever. It is the most stacked voice cast ever. It is nuts. You start going through it, you're just like, fuck. And also, I'm now like, oh, are we going to get some of these people to come do lines in this video game? Like, what are we doing here?
Maybe.
What are we doing here? Do you have it up? I know we're on the completely wrong podcast, but at the same time, I'm like, it's even if you give 0 fucks about the Dark Crystal, I'll get up.
Hang on.
I'll get up on my phone. It's worth going.
The Age of Resistance.
Yeah, I've got it. Don't worry, I've got it. So this is let me run through the cast here. You don't have to give 0 fucks about this series. Just everyone listen to me. Just fucking listen. You've got Helena Bonham Carter. Why do they have these cast in such a weird order? Natalie Dormer, Taron Egerton, Nathaniel Emmanuel, whatever her name is. Mark Hamill, Lena Headey, Jason Isaacs, Eddie Izzard, Toby Jones, Keegan-Michael Kay, Simon Pegg, Andy Samberg, Mark Strong, Alicia Vikander, Anya Taylor-Joy, Sigourney Weaver, Benedict Wong, and a bunch of like C-level, B-level actors. But I think it's crazy how good that cast is for a TV series that basically no one knows anything about. And now
based on a movie that
it's very old and a lot of people have watched.
And very, I imagine, wasn't too beloved.
No, well, no, it was. I know.
Not like it wasn't mainstream.
No, I don't think it was. But the video game, back on track. The video game I'm excited for. Obviously, I talked about how that was one of my top 5 games coming out of E3. I love tactics games. I'm keen for this. And I feel like between that cast list and my interest in this game, in between those two combinations, it helps me get more excited for this, the TV series, you know? So then also coming out this year, presumably will be Dreams officially, you know, because it's in early access at the moment. So that makes the list. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered's coming out. I'm hoping it's not too expensive because I'd put it in the list of things I'd like to buy for $20 to play for like 6 to 8 hours or whatever, but never actually fully commit to finishing because it's going to take too much time. But I would love to give it a good go just to see how much better it looks and these sorts of things. Hollow Knight Silk Song is coming out later this year at some point. It's basically Hollow Knight 2, I guess. The sequel. Marvel's Iron Man VR coming out at some point this year as well. I would presume, hopefully, sometime. It would have been really good if they made the Blu-ray release of Endgame, I guess. But Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
The cutie game. Everything I read post E3 about the game, I got more excited. People kept saying it is the best looking Switch game, is what I kept reading.
That's a big call.
Big call. It's what I kept reading from trusted sources. Trusted sources. Best Switch game, they say. Best Switch game. I'm keen for that though. And then the last game on the list is All Blitz, which is
we like that one too.
She like disappears into a hole for like the last 10 minutes, and then it's like the cutie game.
No, I'm like just so delusionally exhausted. This is going to be a good game. This is going to feed our...
It better be.
Yeah, you've been hearing about it for long enough. This is going to feed our want for Animal Crossing because it's not Animal Crossing, but it's coming before then. So we'll be happy.
They also did... I can't remember. So... there's been like a recent switch of things, which I don't know worked out really good or bad for them because like originally Ublitz was going to be published by Double Fine. Double Fine was purchased by Microsoft, obviously, at E3.
Ooblets, a couple days after E3, announced that they were no longer going to be published by Double Fine. So I guess either Double Fine has to stop publishing certain games, or that was part of their deal, or they didn't want to anything to do with the Double Fine being part of Microsoft. I'm not sure what was going on there exactly, but that's just a recent development that happened. I know recently I also saw something about the whole team. I know there's only a couple of them or whatever, but in like a blog post, they wrote that they just moved somewhere and they hired someone, I think, or something like that to help, like a producer to help finish the project. So I think it sounds like it's coming
along.
Like they're in the last stages kind of thing is what it sounded like potentially. So hopefully that hits its 2019 release date. Then you will have your Animal Crossing game for the
You'll
US.
have your Ooblets.
You'll have your Ooblets.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Hope you've enjoyed that list of games. Hope you know everything that's coming out now. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news, articles, and much more. Rate Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts to help out the show, of course, or simply share it on social media with your friends. You can follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod, and you can join our Discord at explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLadil, VRVALADIL. You can follow Ash on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. You follow Shri on Twitter at Shriacorno, CHERICORNO. My God, we'll see you here, same time, same couch, next week. Bye.